So just for a moment, I want you to close your eyes and imagine being faced with a life-changing business decision. You see, that's something that I experienced. December the 4th, 2014, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. 2 weeks later, my vice president comes to me and says, "We're going to have a restructure in the organization, and you need to reduce your staff by 50%. At that moment, I wasn't sure what to feel because I'm dealing with my personal situation, but I'm also dealing with my employees. So I had to really go and pray about this thing because both are life-changing decisions. And so I decided at that moment to take early retirement, let my employees stay, the ones that could, and I made sure that they were in a good position. But that gave me time to focus on my family, most importantly, my health. Being a leader, being an individual, we often struggle with making decisions. And we struggle because anxiety comes into the place, emotions come in, and then we can't figure out what we want to do. You see, research shows that the average person makes 6 excuses per day. Now, according to my calculations, that's over 2,000 excuses per year. So these excuses that we tell ourselves, we do that because of fear. Now, there are 3 fears that we all struggle with. The first is that fear of failure. Everybody wants to be successful. That second fear, it's fear of rejection. No one likes to be rejected. Then that third fear, I call it self-sabotage. But it's that fear that I am not good enough. And you see, I struggled with that fear myself. So I struggled with, where do I fit in? I wasn't good enough. I wasn't the oldest and I wasn't the youngest. And we all struggle as leaders. We struggle with where we fit in because we want to make the right decisions at the right time for the right reason. I'm here today to help you understand that. Don't delay making decisions in any aspect, whether it's business or health. Because when you delay making that decision, a lot of things happen in between that time period. To help you, if you're ever faced with having to make a life-changing decision or a business decision, there's 3 simple questions that you need to ask yourself. So these questions that I want you to write down. The first one is to ask yourself, how is my life right now? Are you happy with the way things are today? Have you done everything that you were supposed to do? Are you working in your purpose? How is my life right now? And if you can't answer that question and feel good about it, then you know it's time to make a change. The second question I want you to write down is, how do I want my life to be? You all have goals and objectives, and if you haven't had the opportunity to fulfill them, then that's on you, because you've got the time. I'm sure you have the resources, you have access to get them, and you can't say you don't know how or you don't know what to do, because there's a lot of resources around. Always ask somebody. And then the third question I want you to ask yourself and write down is, what am I willing to give up to get there? You see, oftentimes we don't want to work too hard to get to what we want. Life is not easy, but the resources are out there for you. So what are you willing to give up? Coco Gauff, I hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. 10 years ago, where was she? She was in the stands watching her successors, but she had a plan. She probably gave up time, she gave up resources, she gave up money, because today she won the US Open. You may find yourself in that same position. What are you willing to give up to get there? I was willing to give up everything. I didn't know if I was going to have money to pay pay my mortgage. I didn't know if I was going to have food. I didn't know about benefits. All I was focused on was taking care of my health. So oftentimes we get caught up in everything else, but we need to focus on what is most important. My name is Dr. Linda Jordon, and I help women effectively communicate so they can illuminate their potential and live their best life. What are you doing to live your best life? You can connect with me on social media or go to www.lindajordon, and that's JORDON.com. No relation to Michael Jordan. I will see you on the other side and get your blessing. Thank you.